Live from the Export Beer Garden studios and brought to you by Export Ultra, the beer for Jav Day. This is the Agenda podcast for Monday, the 24th of March.
The Agenda podcast, the home of sporting nonsense and claptrap. Brought to you by Export Ultra.
Stein to Elliott. He pulls it into the and New Zealand are through to the World Cup final! Woo!
You wouldn't read
you
it.
wouldn't read about it!
You did, though.
The New Zealanders have won with one ball to spare! The hairy tail of the land! Jab, 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 jab. The hairy javelin has done it for New Zealand, pulling the ball into the long-on boundary for six, and he's brought New Zealand to the final of the Cricket World Cup 2015.
There we go. 10 years ago to the day, Manaia Stewart.
Happy Jav Day to all that celebrate.
Yeah.
All practicing members of the Jav community. It's incredible. 10 years ago, and geez, didn't Jace sound different in his 40s?
Yeah, exactly. He sounds so youthful and enthusiastic. He's so pessimistic and dead in the eyes now.
It's become such an iconic piece of audio that you forget certain parts of it, wouldn't read about it, absolute scenes.
Yeah.
Matt Heath saying Jalavalin.
Yeah.
Just in absolute panic. I heard you guys talking about it the other day when you got the heads up that it was going to be the 10-year anniversary. It is one of the most iconic parts of New Zealand sporting history, and it's so Kiwi of us that it was to get into a final. It wasn't to win.
No, I know, because we've yet to win one.
The other one is like the Beavers kick, and not to take anything away from either of them, spectacular. But there was still an hour left in that game, and it's been remembered as the kick that won the World Cup.
I guess we won that game, though, so there's a bit of a difference in that one.
Yes.
It was a moment within that game that allowed us to win, whereas that was to get us into the semi-final in which we got humped by Australia.
Obliterated, yeah.
Yeah, but we kind of forget that part of it. We forget that part.
We talked about it this morning on the Hodoki Breakfast Show about some of your antics at the after party after the final. And just the idea in my head of, you know, if you were one of the coaching staff or wider playing group or, you know, even one of the administrators, the gear guy, whatever, and it's like a weird celebration, right? Because you guys have worked so hard, you got so close, you gave yourself a shot, you didn't quite win, you just fell short. So there's melancholy, there's happiness, there's excitement, and then there's also why the fuck does that guy have his dick around Laura McGoldrick's wrist? Mixed into the entire thing, and I just wish I could have seen, because I just picture you just be like, woo! Woo! Meanwhile, everyone else is like, yeah, we actually kind of...
Well, also, it was Vittori's last ever match for New Zealand. He retired, and he went out with dignity, unlike most of this Australian team that announced the week before that they were retiring at the World Cup, and Haddon and all those assholes were having all these...
victory laps.
Yeah, victory laps. Dan didn't make any announcement, and it was just at the end of that game, he said, yeah, that's it, I'm done.
That'll do it.
I'm done. And so, yeah, we went in with a bit of a celebration of his career as well. But to be fair, he went to bed early. He was not keen on parting with us.
Vittori.
Yeah, he goes, you guys are on a different level. Yeah. And I blame Tim Southey for the wristwatch incident. Because he was the instigator of that. I didn't just go around offering it out. But I can remember someone throwing some food as well.
Well, there were allegations this morning that was you that was throwing the food.
Chicken nugget? I don't know about that, because I looked over. There were some other people involved, but Wells wasn't exactly a saint either. I think he had the chairman of New Zealand Cricket up against the wall, and like, not by the throat, but verbally by the throat. He was at him, like chewing his ear off.
Well, about like where it went wrong and what he could have done differently.
Yeah, and you could see, when someone doesn't want to be talking to him, and they kind of visibly, their head is back on an angle. That's what the chairman of New Zealand Cricket, it might have been Greg Barclay maybe at the time, I'm unsure. You can fact check me on that, but he wasn't exactly innocent.
No, and a drunk Jerry can really corner someone verbally.
Yeah, and then there was encouragement for me to pash the Jav, and then the chant went out in the room across the buffet, pash the Jav, pash the Jav, and things ensued, and I tried to pash the Jav. Like, it was one of those things where he woke up in the morning. And I was rooming with Wells, and I was like, did we? And he goes, yeah. I go, were we in the like, yeah. You did.
Yeah,
I was like,
did.
shit.
Why can't Laura look me in the eyes?
Yeah.
But the moment itself, the Jav moment. I mean, I know you guys walked through it last week on the podcast.
Yeah.
We did this morning as well. But that last over was just miraculous.
Oh,
The chop, was it Vittori chopped the forward down to the boundary behind him?
Yeah, the classic Vittori shot. He scored 90% of his runs behind square.
Yeah.
And Dale Steyn, you idiot, he bowled it wide, full, and he just farted it down to third man for 4.
Yeah. I shared the story this morning of a couple of years ago when I was in charge of a Twitter account in the mainstream sports media landscape. And it was brought to my attention that Dale Steyn was writing a memoir, and he was asking for photos of him from his playing days to be included in the memoir. Yeah. And he said if anyone's got one, could they send them through? And I sent him the photo of the Jav offering a hand to pick him up off the floor. I was like, I love this photo, man. You should chuck this one in your book.
How'd that go?
He just sent back a sheepish reply. Oh, this was all out in public. It'll still be up on his page, I think, on Twitter. X. Yeah. He was very good-natured about it.
Well, he's a bit sensitive on the socials because remember, I think was it Simon Doull had a crack at him about his top knot? Remember he had a top knot ponytail, and I think Simon Doull had a crack at him, and he got all uppity about it.
Doull, he should be.
No, he shouldn't be throwing stones.
Nah.
He's gone full Turkish Airlines.
Yeah,
Turkish Airlines.
He's got Turkish Airlines, and I mean, God bless him, but. Jav Day. It's just one of the greats.
Yeah, happy Jav Day. Look, when if you're feeling down, I'm not 100% at the moment.
No, you've got AIDS, don't you?
I've got full blown AIDS. Like
you got double pneumonia. You got the shit that Pope Francis has got at the moment.
I'm sympathising with the head of the Catholic Church at the moment, and I've just got the double pneumonia. I've got what's the walking pneumonia? That's what Elton John had.
Yeah.
Suspiciously right at the start of the outbreak of COVID.
I reckon that dude was patient zero. I was at that concert.
Fucking A, he was.
He pulled out halfway through. The cunt still owes me half a concert. Elton John owes me half a concert and 3 years of my life in lockdown.
I saw a fucking hilarious video of him on stage with Dua Lipa.
Yeah.
And the comment was, who invited Artie on the stage? And he had like a cowboy hat on and he was kind of just waddling backwards and forwards. It was so bad. He looked so out of place.
Dua Lipa's outstanding, though.
Yeah.
Happy Dua Lipa Day.
She's here next week, I think.
Is she?
Yeah, there's Dua Lipa concert in a couple of weeks.
Has that information been held from me on
purpose? I think so. I thought there was something about you and Dua Lipa when I answered that question on the Hauraki Breakfast podcast around Dua Lipa or KFC.
Zingerburger,
yeah.
Which is better, Dua Lipa or Zingerburger?
Zingerburger. Zingerburger gives me a lot more.
Close, though. That's close.
I reckon Dua Lipa will come and go for you.
The problem with...
Zingerburger is forever.
She hasn't gone yet. The problem with it is you and Jerry really drilled down on the details of, do I get one every day? It's like, no, you don't get a Dua Lipa every day. But yeah, anyway.
There you go.
I've completely lost my train of thought.
We're talking about patient zero. Because, walking pneumonia, i.e. COVID.
Killed Jim Henson, walking pneumonia.
Did it?
53, dropped dead, walking pneumonia, yeah.
Is that like, why is it called walking pneumonia?
I don't know.
Because you can still walk around with it?
You can still walk around with it. It's the weirdest, so what?
So any disease that you're not bedridden is walking?
Yeah, so he's got walking AIDS.
Yeah. I had walking cancer for a while.
You had walking cancer, yeah, that's right.
Walking diarrhea?
No, I don't. You can't have walking diarrhea, I don't think. By definition.
It's been cool. You ring up work, you go, oh man, I've got AIDS. And they're like, wow. Is it walking AIDS? You go, yeah, well, come to work then because you can walk. We're like, fuck. Damn it, I should have said I've got bed AIDS.
You call up your boss and say, I've got AIDS. We were doing a quiz the other day. This guy rang in. We're like, what disease did Michael J. Fox famously get in the 90s? He's like, AIDS. No.
Well, you know what? Back then, that's not a bad answer.
That's why his hands are shaking like that. Yeah, he's got AIDS.
He's got shaky AIDS.
He's got walking AIDS. Well, Magic Johnson had playing in the NBA AIDS. And
athlete AIDS.
Athlete AIDS. They had to, they brought in all these rules because they didn't want him to play because they were like, are we all going to get AIDS? And the rule was brought into the NBA that if you had blood anywhere on you, you had to come off and change your shirt before you went back on.
Yeah.
Like in rugby league or rugby or whatever, if there's a bit of blood on the shirt, it's sweet as.
Yeah.
Until it's like pissing out everywhere. And that went all around the world to the point where if your kids play basketball, they will probably have to come off the court if there's a spot of blood on them because of the Magic Johnson rule.
Because of the AIDS.
Because they got walking AIDS. So, yeah. You're probably sick enough you probably shouldn't be at work. You should call your boss. Just be like,
I'm going home after this.
I got AIDS.
I'll call myself. Hey, bro, what? I got AIDS. Is it walking AIDS? Get to work. Hey, let's take a quick break because Rugby League is back. Rugby League is back. The NRL started off so wholesome the first 3 rounds, but it's back. Righto, let's start off. Warriors won. Yep. Well done. The Roosters. We got crucified on the cricket commentary for announcing the score update of the.
Really?
Yeah. Well, someone was triple fisting. They were watching the rugby, listening to us, and recording the Warriors. And they were going to watch the Warriors afterwards.
Look, I'm sorry, but in 2025, that's no longer an excuse.
Yeah, you can triple screen.
You can triple screen. Also, you're going to be gambling on it. Live sport is the last bastion of appointment watching. You just don't get the chance to... back in the day, you used to VHS those things and then watch them the next day.
That's tough.
That's gone now. That's all out the window. I was commentating both Moana Pacifica versus the Chiefs and the Warriors game at the same time, which was horrible listening.
But for those who want to hear scores from both, it's a service.
Well, and we were saying that this could be another world first for the ACC, another pointless world first. I know we've done this before, but an actual service where if you're second screening 2 games, we will commentate both, so you don't have to decide what commentary you're going to listen to.
We should have done 3, really. We should have done Jameson into Abbas as
third tackle now for the Roosters. They go through Chad
Stevenson
Townsend.
to the back line. Stevenson will score. Chiefs Manaia. As the ball raced away to the boundary for 4. Pakistan 23 for 1.
I think we should do that the next time that happens because there was sport dripping off the walls on Friday night. But yes, I think we talked to Di Henwood. I think he summed up how we all felt about that game, and it was an ugly win. We won ugly.
Yeah, good.
And for the second week in a row, the superstars that we faced didn't look like superstars, and that's not a coincidence. It's us making them look not like superstars.
Yeah.
So we made it a shit fight, and we beat them with experience because we've been in more shit fights than they have. Now, if you subscribe to NRL math, the Panthers have won the last 4 competitions. You'd have to say they're probably favourites, at least coming into the season, to win this season. The Chooks beat them last week. We just beat the Chooks. Ipso facto, we're going to win the competition this year.
Okay, classic Warriors fans, math, that one.
Yeah.
Another sniper has taken out an NRL player.
Happened last night. We had an Achilles blowout. I thought of this podcast immediately because we live in constant fear of an Achilles because it could go at any point.
It's a ticking time bomb.
It is, and we always talk about, dudes just getting out of bed and their Achilles exploding. This one was a little bit more legit. It was Taniela Paseka, who's the prop for the Manly Sea Eagles, trying to score a try, and he just ran into another couple of monster human beings. Heartbreaking stuff because just before that, the commentator was saying, he's been at the club for 4 years or something. He really needs to stand up this year. And then commentator's curse, blows his Achilles.
Bang.
Yeah, it's terrifying, the Achilles, and it was confirmed almost immediately. Yeah, he's done his Achilles.
Yeah. So, and just want to say before the break that Rugby League is back.
Yep.
Reggie the Rabbit, which is the Rabbitohs mascot, has been accused of punching a fan during the game against the Sharks on Saturday. Now, let's just say there is an 80-year-old dude inside Reggie the Rabbit. This is Charlie Gallico, who's been Reggie for 2 decades, and he's accused of throwing hands at a 9-year-old in the face.
I mean, so I've seen the footage. So he was walking off the field at the end of the game, and, as they walk up the tunnel, the Sharks fans were giving him a bit of a send-off.
Yeah.
And he just turns, wheels around, and then it's like, on the field when they'll grab each other's punch them that way so it looks like
a little small chin.
So it looks like it was that, but to a 9-year-old in a Sharks jersey. It was fucking wild.
Well, I'm all for, I'm not ageist.
Yeah.
The fuck is an 80-year-old doing in a mascot costume?
It's probably the only thing keeping him alive.
That's problematic. You've got a boomer in a mascot trying to bring joy, because that's what mascots are there to bring joy.
Yeah.
They're not there for any other reason but joy, and you've got a boomer who hates anyone under the age of 50, and he's got a 9-year-old, and of course he's going to punch him. That's what he would have fucking deserved it, mate. I bet his defense is fucking deserved it.
Fucking deserved. Back in my day, you could do that.
Yeah.
I loved that. It was, but I mean, they got wasted too, so that was probably another part of it. I mean, you famously just about hung yourself in the in the Rambo costume.
Oh, I've had a lot of the thing is, there's something weird about mascot dressing as a mascot.
Yeah,
and how people perceive you. You're not a human anymore.
It's dehumanizing.
So it's dehumanizing for both you and kids who don't believe there's someone in there.
Yeah.
And one of the most horrific incidents, outside of me almost hanging myself on 70s night at the Canterbury Rams, when I was dressed full Rambo with about a 20 kg paper mache ram's head on, a full woolen costume, and we had a slam dunk competition at half time off a trampoline. And I bounced from about the free throw line, dunked it, but then my chain got caught in the net and I was hanging from the hoop for about what felt like 30 seconds, but really it was about 10 seconds till the chain broke and I fell to the floor on my back and the crowd went crazy.
Yeah, I love everything about this story. You being the Ram, a slam dunk comp, 70s night, gold chain. Everything.
Gold chain nearly killing me.
I know we talk about this all the time. This story's come up a lot of times, and every time it reminds me of the Nuggets mascot who passed out in the rafters before being lowered lifeless to centre court. And I am sure to this day that whitewash investigation covered up the fact
he's dead.
That the Denver Nuggets lowered a lifeless corpse to centre court for an NBA game. I'm fucking sure of it.
One of the other incidents I saw was Auckland's NPC mascot used to be an elephant.
Why?
Where it was, I don't know. I think
Cashin?
it was. Yeah, I think it was when the elephants at the zoo were at their height. The only elephants in the country. I don't know, but I can distinctly remember a Waikato Auckland very niggly game, both for on field and the fans. Waikato hated Aucklanders.
Yeah.
And I remember the elephant came dancing around the front of the terraces.
Yeah.
Just a terrible idea. Whoever thought that was a good idea, maybe to rack up the Waikato supporters. A Waikato supporter jumped over the fence and clean knocked out the
cold cocked.
Yeah, just clocked the elephant, and the elephant just went down. But what was most disturbing is medics came along. They took the elephant's head off, and it was like a 15-year-old girl. Yeah. So everyone was like, But the thing is, people dehumanize a mascot.
Big time. I had to dress up as the LJ Hooker bear at the Strawberry Fair in Waimate one year. About fucking 40 degrees down there. Had to walk around with lollies and some sort of boiled candies and then hand out real estate brochures at the same time. Kids were just running up and kicking me in the nuts.
Yes, the nuts.
The whole time.
And it's like they don't think mascots have any sort of testicles. Because I remember... As Rambo, I had to do a lot of community stuff as well. Obviously, I'm very community minded. I had to go to these primary schools and with some Canterbury Rams players, and I'd be there for the cross country, and they'd go, Rambo will take you for a warm up, and I'm like, the fuck I will. And they go, no, just take him, run him across the field and back. So I'm like, okay. So basically, I'm running across the field as Rambo,
in a
woolen kit with a big fucking paper mache ram head.
Did you have a fan in the head?
And no.
The LJ Hooker bear had a fan.
I look behind me, and shit, there's 200 primary school kids chasing me. And I get to the other side, and then I've got an assistant, and then they're like, we're going to run through some stretches now with Rambo. And then a kid just comes up and just clean kicks me in the nuts.
What is it? It's like a red flag to a bull.
It's, so look, you've got to get someone in there who's resilient, because as tempted as I was to cave this little fucking shit's face in with my Rambo fist. I didn't. I took it, I dropped the knee and pretended to stretch my hammy, and I took the money, I took the $10 an hour I was getting, and I fucked off out of there. But you can't put an 80-year-old Charlie Calico in a fucking Reggie the Rabbit and not expect him to left hook a fucking 9-year-old.
So the Moana Pacifica Chiefs game was played at Pookie Park, home of the Steelers. It reminded me of a story of what was he called? Steely Dan?
Steely Dan, yeah. He's the only mascot that hasn't got the full he just basically got a head.
He's covered in silver.
But
but back in the day, he was just a guy spray painted silver. And apparently he was the same guy for ages. And after a tense contract dispute where his contract didn't get renewed, he showed up to the next game and chased a bunch of kids around with a raw chicken. Just lost his fucking mind.
Oh, Hoary Bop also has got a checkered. Hoary Bop's got a checkered past.
Hang on, can I clarify something before? Didn't the original Hoary Bop die and now they've replaced him?
It's a sad story. He died in a ditch, upside down in a ditch in a golf course. But so there's been a couple of Hoary Bops, but the second Hoary Bop, he's on the outer now.
Rest in power.
R.I.P. original Hoary Bop, by the way. But the second reincarnation of Hoary Bop has been banned from the field. He has to sit in the stands now.
Oh, yeah.
And so Hoary Bop's on the outside. So I like that. Mascots, it's torrid, isn't it? It's a torrid pastime.
Who's the guy at the Waikato games who's in the cherry picker
he
with
got
the
banned
chainsaw?
too. The possum head man with the chainsaw and the cherry picker. He got banned as well. And because that was great because he was at the top of a cherry picker, skin possum hat on, chainsaw, no chain.
No chain.
Like every time they scored a try, he would start the chainsaw.
Which is hard to do because you're by yourself. It's hard to build up the confidence to...
You're top of a cherry picker. See, we need to embrace that sort of shit because no other one... Who around the world has a dude with a possum hat and a fucking chainsaw at the top of a cherry picker?
That's culture.
Yeah, totally.
That is
culture. But then someone goes, oh, it's dangerous. It's like, well, for him...
Yeah, I think not only he should be closer to the action.
Oh, he should pop out of the middle of the field. He should deliver the tea. He should deliver the tea.
And it's true. Beep, 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 beep. Please be upstanding for the delivery of the tea from the guy in the possum hat.
Or if he did the national anthem, and with the chainsaw.
That'd be great.
That was that. Oh yeah. Anyway,
we need more of that.
We do. Okay, so that was from the NRL desk.
One more NRL story. I saw the most bizarre penalty I've ever seen in my life last night. It was against Josh Curran, former Warriors player. He now plays for the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs were like on attack against the Raiders, and the Raiders were sort of scrambling to get back on side. Josh Curran imitated the ref and yelled at a guy that he was offside and to not tackle the guy, and so he didn't. He put his hands up and they made a break. Yes. And the referee called it back for a misconduct penalty against Josh Curran for impersonating a referee.
Oh, that's good from Josh Curran. I mean, you do that all the time on the cricket field.
Yeah.
I'm at slip calling yes, no, maybe all the time. Yeah. 2. Yeah, everyone's trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, that's quite good.
Yeah, so he's like, you're offside, 8. And then he's just like, wait, no, sorry, mate, I won't make a tackle. And then the ref's like, no, hang on, mate. You're not the ref. You don't get the...
he did well to isolate who it was.
Yeah. He got him straight away. But isn't that just the most rugby league shit of all time? For one, for him to even think to do that, and two, for the other guy to fall for it?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, mate.
But I'm surprised that doesn't happen more in rugby because there is way more chat around rules and at rucks and turnovers
hands
and rugby.
Off, seven, hands off.
Yeah. And like the fact that watching Wellington play now, Heather Duplessis-Creefy basically celebrates the turnover penalty before the ref even blows the whistle.
Yeah,
have you seen that? He's like clapping.
Yeah. I do it a lot in social basketball where I will call for the ball with the other team because inevitably both teams couldn't organise a uniform, so you're wearing the same shirt.
So everyone's just in mufti.
It's 15 dudes in LeBron James jerseys. And then you'll just stand in the corner and be like, yeah, bro. Then they throw it to you and you run off down the other side, off the backboard, between the legs, dunk it, arm in the hoop.
Oh, that's good from Josh Curran. I miss Josh Curran. I quite like Josh Curran.
Yeah, so do I.
There was something about him. There was just some
had a bit about him.
Yeah, he did have a bit about him. From the cricket desk, so Friday night, got absolutely pumped by Pakistan. I had a feeling that they would like Eden Park when I mentioned it on Friday on Hauraki Breakfast.
Yeah.
Because you could throw your hands at it, miss time a shot, go for 6, whatever. The pitch had nothing in it. There was no seam movement, hardly any swing. And they pumped us by 9 wickets.
Yeah.
And then we turn around yesterday and normality returns.
Yeah. We're regularly scheduled programming is back there. I guess the only talking point out of that game was that a man walked out there in ankle socks and batted and scored like 70.
Yeah, ankle socks. That was an unusual decision. I don't know. I don't think I've ever seen it before.
No, I've never seen it before.
Is it a fashion move? Is he a hipster?
Well, somebody did text into the show this morning saying perhaps his socks were observing Ramadan.
Okay, but ankle socks are exempt?
Yeah, ankle socks. Yeah, they're heathen socks. Okay. the ankle socks. But the practicing crew sock, that was observing Ramadan.
Hang on, I'm going to have to blow my schnoz.
Yeah. Well, G Lane's just desperately going through what he's describing as walking pneumonia, but of course, as we addressed at the top of the podcast, is AIDS. He
Cut that bit out.
Demonic possession. Yes, but so, I mean, is it the highest score ever scored by someone wearing ankle socks?
Yes.
Yeah.
It definitely is. But I don't even think ankle socks. I played a lot of cricket.
Yeah.
Back in the day. I don't think I ever encountered ankle socks in my life.
Why did he even have them with him?
Yeah, it's like he had his going out shoes ready to go out afterwards.
Yeah.
They just needed to be boat shoes.
Boat shoes, yeah.
And he needed to roll his whites up a little bit. Like
Yeah.
that kind of show your ankle.
So did he field like that too?
Yeah.
So he was fielding with breezy ankles.
Yes.
What a stussy guy.
So
Maybe he already knew. He's like, look, this tour's it's a farce. Let's be honest.
I need to do some marketing for myself.
But I'm on the pool after this. I'm sitting back on the pool shot out here, but after the game's finished, I'm on the pool.
That's right. You know, it's Ramadan, so I'm going to be up all night eating.
Ramadansin.
Yeah, it's struggling to get into this series for a couple of reasons. The big break at home, no cricket.
Yeah.
And the Pakistan team they've sent is pretty av.
I just also think I just wouldn't like the Ramadan. They can't even drink water.
I don't understand why they haven't got an exemption for this in terms of that. But like they come out, they break the fast when the sun goes down, and they fucking just scoff. I've never seen it. I've never seen it before.
No.
In international cricket, and obviously you've got a few teams who have Muslim players in them.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a game stop and a buffet come out onto the field.
Nah. Well, I didn't see it, but it's just it's a bizarre sort of thing. There's a couple of players in the NBA who they'll call a timeout as soon as the sun's set, and then they'll bring them out so they can have a drink of water. And I understand that when the majority of the NBA aren't practicing Muslims, so they aren't practicing. But when your whole team is observing Ramadan, that's a scheduling issue. That's a scheduling fuck up. You know? Actually, this is probably why they haven't sent a full strength team. Because if I'm
Baba Azam or Fuck is a Man,
all that's going to happen is this is a scheduling loss, so my averages are going to shoot down, and that hurts me in the T20 league, the mercenary circuit. Could there be a bit of that?
Oh, speaking of which, the ravishing Rick Ravindra, great start for him for the Chennai Super Kings.
Yep.
Did he score 70 odd? Won the game.
65 and carried his bat.
Yeah, against Mumbai.
Yeah.
So against Trent Bolt and Mitchell Satner. Won the game by hitting Mitchell Satner into the stand for 6.
Shame.
Yeah. So I'd say Rashin Ravindra, he's set for life, I think.
Oh, 100%. I couldn't believe when he sort of burst onto the scene for the Black Caps a couple of years ago. I thought he was going to get so overpaid at the IPL. I thought that one of those, because it's a pissing contest, the IPL draft.
Oh, yeah.
Slave auction.
Yeah, it's a slave auction, yeah.
And I just thought someone would have convinced themselves that they needed him on their team. I think that's happening now. And what pissed me off is people would be like, oh, he's a ODI player. And this has always been my axe to grind. But as long as the pitch is the same length, ball's the same size, who gives a fuck?
If you can score run a ball in ODI...
Yeah. Why can't you do it in a T20? Why can't you do it in a test?
I'd much rather have a guy who can score 100 off 102 playing on my T20 team than a dude who hit 10 off 4.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like people massively overthink it, and it's like, who would have thought? He's pretty handy at T20 as well.
Paul Ford told a great story last night in the commentary about Rashin Ravindra down in Wellington club cricket. So often in club cricket there, if there's a relegation promotion match, a lot of the Firebirds players will make themselves available and go play for their club. And so this one particular club, they called in like 3 or 4 Firebirds, but at the last minute, they all pulled out except Rashin Ravindra, who played, but he said he only had an hour and a half. So they batted first, and he came out and he scored like 70 odd in an hour, and then jumped in a cab and went to the airport and went to the IPL. And the other team were like, motherfucker.
That's some bullshit.
But as a big dick maneuver, Rashin put $1,000 on the bar for each team. They didn't know that.
Oh,
shit.
Good
Then he buggered off. So they were, at the end, they were like, motherfucker. Oh, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. And in club cricket, $2,000 on the bar is a big deal.
But it's a small consolation when after a hard-fought season you get eliminated by an IPL star.
Yeah, that's true. He was there for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Jumped in a taxi, gave you the finger and fucked off.
Hey, so the dead rubber is this Wednesday, 7 p.m. Black Caps versus Pakistan. Coverage brought to you by Razine and the great New Zealanders at Max Raft. So tune in for that dead rubber. But, right, from the desk, RIP, Grizz Wylie and the George Foreman Grill both departed in the weekend.
I know. They picked the same weekend. They've always been close, Grizz Wylie and George Foreman. I saw Joe Jury messaged into the group chat. Someone had texted someone else saying George Foreman's dead, and that person replied, "Have you checked the fuse?" Like, no. The George Foreman,
not the grill,
has died. One of the weirdest post-career careers of all time from George Foreman.
Yeah, retired, came back, won a world title.
Into the grill. There's a clip that's resurfaced that's doing the rounds about the George Foreman grill of this comedian explaining, like, George, do you want to put a on-off switch on it? No. Do you want to put a lock on the hinge so it doesn't fall onto your hands when you're trying to grab shit out of it? No. What about like a dial so you can change the temperature? No. And I think that's why it was so successful. It was fucking revolutionary, the George Foreman grill.
And it was on the angle, so all the fat came off.
Yeah.
It dripped off.
And you thought you were saving calories or something from that?
No.
It loomed large over the sort of mid-2000s, didn't it?
Yeah. It was the first big global telesales brand.
Yeah.
The George Foreman lean, mean grilling machine.
Yeah. Was it his idea? I think it was. I'm pretty sure.
If it was, good on him. But Grizz Wylie, obviously probably the grumpiest man in New Zealand sports history. Mm-hmm. Probably most well-known from us anyway. Obviously coached the All Blacks, played for Canterbury. Was also the uncle of Shane Philpott. Do you remember Shane Philpott? He was a one-time All Black that everyone was like, who the fuck's that guy? And then everyone goes, oh, it's Grizz Wylie's nephew.
Oh, right. A bit of a nepo.
A little bit of nepo there. Anyway, he'll be remembered for that time that in the 1985 Shield Challenge down at Lancaster Park, I think Canterbury were losing and he had to go down to the sideline to see the team to give him a team talk, but had to walk through the crowd. Oh, yeah. And some Cantab gave him a bit of lip about how they were playing, and he turned around and just chinned him.
Good on him.
And it's all on TV as well. But he chinned him, and the guy had to swing back. So it was good old days. That was when the crowd were like a metre from the sideline.
Yeah, there should be a bit of jeopardy there. We should introduce that back into live sports and just events in general.
Have we got some Grizz Wylie audio, have we? Have we got some Grizz audio?
There was attack on the field and off. As Alex Wylie moved through the huge crowd to join his players, he was attacked from behind, one of a number of incidents involving the same two troublemakers.
There you go. So that was the incident. That was young Phil Gifford there giving that voiceover. It was.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the incident we were talking about. I don't think he was attacked from behind. Someone said something. Grizz turned around, clocked him, and then a fight ensued. Right, we'll take a quick break and we'll be back because we've got cover a bit of rugby, bit of Formula One, bit of motorsport for you, Manaia, and then we'll hit yours, please. So Super Rugby, we're going to go a bit deeper tomorrow with McConey on a couple of blowouts from Super Rugby. Chiefs obviously over Moana and Crusaders over the Blues.
Yeah,
shit, I didn't expect that. I didn't see that coming. I thought the Blues back against the wall would bounce back, but they did the opposite.
I've heard that from a couple of people now. The Blues have their back against the wall.
Yeah.
That is not the book on Blues teams. They have never been a team that does well with their back against the wall. They are front runners. They're flat track bullies.
Right.
And the worst thing that's ever happened to Blues rugby is winning that competition last year.
I know, because now everyone's like they're defending champs.
They'll never win again because it's just gone straight to their heads. They don't respect the game. All right, is what I'm hearing. Is that they're not?
That's what you're hearing.
That's what I'm hearing is they're not respecting.
You're hearing that from the fucking Cantab Mafia.
I'm hearing it from. Well, this is the other part of it. I hope everyone enjoyed last year in Super Rugby. I hope, and it couldn't have been a better time for me to be hosting a daily sports podcast that accepted voicemails because I was copping it from all angles last year, and I hope you enjoyed it because the Crusaders are back and they are second on the table at the moment behind the Chiefs. I can see what's going to happen this year. The battle for home field advantage in the semi-finals in the playoffs is going to be what happened in Super Rugby Tranny, the Trans-Tasman one, where the Blues won the Asterix one. It's going to be who can beat up on the minnow teams the hardest to have the highest points diff, and then they're going to get home field advantage because the Chiefs are ahead of the Crusaders because of that.
I must admit, I'm a Chiefs mana hard.
Yeah.
They haven't played that well.
No.
They've farted through a couple of games. They lost to Fiji.
Yeah.
It's not like they were like last year or year before. Like last year, I genuinely thought, fuck yeah, we're going all the way.
Yeah.
Because they were playing good rugby.
I thought they were too.
But this year,
was your last chance.
They're winning ugly though, mate. They're winning ugly.
Well, fuck, they did win ugly on the weekend because me and James McConey commentated that game against Moana Pacifica 50-35. Now, they scored and converted right at the end, so it was actually closer to like 43-35. So there was an 8-point difference in the last like 5-10 minutes of that game. What we wanted to do, me and McConey were like, if this is a huge blowout, we're just going to switch to commentating the Warriors.
Yeah.
And we couldn't because Moana Pacifica would just...
Kept coming back.
They were just hanging around.
They deserve more than their one victory, Moana.
They
far.
do. I mean, they lost Artie. Artie will be out for a while, I reckon. It's a hammy. Those things take ages. But yeah, it was a bizarre game. And yeah.
Okay, we'll cover more of it off tomorrow with McConey. But from the Motor Games desk, Liam Lawson, he's been upgraded to 12th in the Chinese Grand Prix. A lot better than his starting position, which was 20th.
15th.
He was 20th. Yeah, he was.
But he finished
15th. Yeah, there was a couple of disqualifications apparently.
What for?
I'm not sure. I actually did sit down and watch that. There was a bit of dangerous manoeuvring, or I don't know what. Dangerous passing, forcing people off the track.
Now all of a sudden, everyone's turned on him.
Massively turned on him. Like he had to start from the pits because he'd replaced a gearbox or something like some sort of mechanical thing. But if you change it, you have to start. No matter who you are, if you change some gear, certain amounts of gear, you got to start. So it wasn't his fault. Okay. The car fucked out, so he had to start from the pits.
Yeah.
But fuck, the vultures are circling. Holy shit!
I know.
But even Verstappen, he can't even drive this car fast because he came fourth.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's purely on his skill. He's got the same car as Lawson.
Yeah.
But give the guy a fucking break.
I know.
Jesus Christ.
2 races in.
Yeah.
And because coming all last year, the rhetoric, and I know in this country it was like this, but I've heard, I mean, I'm pretty well connected in the motorsport world.
Yeah.
Motor games.
Yeah.
And everyone was saying, oh yeah, when's he going to come in? He's going to be the next guy, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden 2 races in, they're like, fuck this guy, get him out of here, never let him race again. It's like, it seems to be a fickle thing, this F1 game.
Shit, yeah. And they're all calling for Yuki Tsunoda to replace him. That's not going to happen. I don't think that's solving anything. I think if Yuki Tsunoda's in that car, he's doing just as worse. But,
well, the issue for me, Lane, and I am the voice of motorsports in New Zealand, is this is a car that's set up for Verstappen, all right? And now he is a guy that likes a pointier car, a sharper car.
Who the fuck told you this?
And
Greg Murphy?
And so it's a bit more reactive, and that allows him to, lean on the wealth of knowledge that he's got, the experience that he's got. But for an inexperienced driver like Lawson, it's a bit harder. I'd liken it to having a very sharp knife in the kitchen. Now, for someone who's skilled with the knife, they can, it's going to make cutting their stuff up a little bit easier. But you could also just as easily cut yourself. And that's, I think, what's happening to Liam Lawson here.
Can I have Manaia back?
Mainstream Manakas is into motorsports.
Yeah, what the fuck? What? I just witnessed someone possess you for about a minute and a half. Have they gone?
Look, the kid knows motorsports. I'm mates with Murph, all right?
Oh, okay, you and Murph.
We talk about...
So that was Murph. Was that Murph talking?
That was the equivalent of like when a mate gets a new hot missus and he's all of a sudden into like the Kardashians or something.
Or into yoga? Yeah. Hot yoga and like Pilates?
Yeah. He's like, so have you heard about the chakras, bro?
Yeah, man, he done reformer Pilates. Man.
Yeah.
So
it's
good.
not just for chicks, man.
No,
actually, dudes would like the All Blacks do it.
Yeah, so good. Anyway, so listen, I've got a couple of weeks break, I think, before the next race. But poor Liam Lawson, I think it's the Japanese Grand Prix. So a bit more pressure because Yuki Tsunoda is like the biggest fucking superstar in motorsport. And someone's saying that for the Japanese one, they're going to chuck him in the Red Bull, like just for the Japanese Grand Prix. I'm like, get fucked.
No, they don't care about that shit. Trust me.
Timaru's finest, Tom Walsh, has won gold in the World Indoor Championships. So with, say, shot put, what's the difference between indoor and outdoor? I can understand the track because it's shorter. It's like 60 metres instead of 100 metres.
Oh, yeah.
But they're still throwing the same size rock.
Wind? I don't know.
Yeah. What is it?
I will say one of the indoor leagues last year or the year before, they had such a short amount of space that Ryan Krauser, the American dude, he threw it off the back wall. Like, he spun around, biffed it, and it hit the back wall, and they were like, what do we do now?
That's amateur.
Yeah, it was. But
throw it through the window.
Yeah, basically. They ran out of track. This is huge for Tom Walsh, I reckon, because he his basically everyone in the shot putting world, it seems, is fighting for second place behind that giant yank.
Yeah.
And then it's like, who's going to come second to him? So it must feel good to
get a bit of gold.
Yeah.
Was Crozier in that comp?
I don't know.
I didn't see him on the podium.
No, so he might not have been in there, but it's still,
He's an outdoor specialist.
Yeah, he's more. He does work outdoors.
Yeah.
Although so does Tom Walsh. I don't know if you follow him on your Sosh Meds, but I love his training regime. Is he's just back in Timaru,
Building shit.
Well, he's building shit, but then he's also he's got his little, what is it, a mat that he puts shot off.
Yeah.
And that's just out the back of the shed, so he'll have to go get the tractor with the forks on the front, and then he'll pick it up, drive it around into the yard, lay it down, do his training, then get back in the tractor and drive it back around again.
Why doesn't he just leave it out?
Well, I don't know.
I just like driving the tractor.
You'd have to ask him. It doesn't make a very good social video if it's just out there.
Oh, that's true.
But I love that that's how he trains, and then he goes out there and beats everyone.
In the world.
Yeah. It's great.
Good week, Tom Walsh. Hey,
South Canterbury, fuck, what a place.
We've got some exciting news, actually, because thanks to Max Raft, this Super Rugby season, we're giving two fans the chance to call the Super Rugby final.
Really?
Live on iHeartradio, and it's called New Zealand's Next Top Commentator.
Love it.
So basically, show us your commentary skills by sending a snippet of your best rugby commentary using the talkback function on your iHeartradio app.
Yeah.
So you've got to be on your mobile.
Yeah,
You've got to be on iHeart to enter this, but it's pretty simple. Just send us your commentary audition to get in the draw to win a chance to call the Super Rugby final. This could go horribly wrong. So you get return flights, accommodation, wherever we're doing the commentary. So text MAX, M-A-X, to 3236 for all the details on how to do that, how to download the app, how to do the talkback and everything else.
Yeah.
So massive thanks to Max Raft, premium insulated concrete slabs for a warmer home. The legends at Max Raft, they've supported us all season, this season and last.
Yeah.
But there's a chance for you to call the Super Rugby final.
I love this. I often think about when stand-up comedians are talking about people, people always want to try it, and they're like, oh, but I'm scared, what if I'm shit?
Yeah.
And they always say, go to an open mic night and listen to how shit they are, and that'll give you the confidence to do it. So if you think, oh, I couldn't do that, just listen to the next commentary. Listen to how shit that is.
Listen to us call the next game and go, fuck, I could do that.
I could definitely do that.
Yeah.
And then send your voicemail.
And just go for it, because you and a mate could be doing it and calling the game. So, I mean, it'll probably be a Crusaders Chiefs final. I'm just throwing it out there.
Well, you got half there, right? Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, okay. So yeah, text Max to 3236. All the details are there. That's if you back yourself.
Have a think about the piss up your mates will have watching that game while you're commentating it.
Yeah, like whoever wins, there'll be about 10 listeners, but those 10 listeners will rinse you for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Yours Please.
Yours, please. Brought to you by Leader, home of the lasagna topper.
Just 3 to get through today, Manaia. There's a whole ton from the correct commentary that we've had to sift through. Some of dubious quality, but here's the first one. Yours, please.
Hey, fellas. This latest Pakistan result, does this beg the question, did G Lane go to the game at Eden Park? Was that Grim Lane that affected that result? Anyway, love yous, fuck yous.
Yeah, well, look, I didn't go.
No.
So there you go. So, look, this whole Grim Lane thing, you can probably put it to bed.
Well, I don't know about that, but I would say that it doesn't qualify in Auckland.
You have to travel.
You didn't go to that game, but even if you had.
Like an example was Vegas.
Yes.
So the Warriors, the only game they've lost this season is when I flew to Vegas.
Jeez, when I started at that point, I was like searching through my memory banks for the last time that it had actually been in effect. I forgot. I was looking too far.
Yeah, Vegas.
A couple of weeks ago, yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah,
You're not going to Magic Round, are you?
No.
Okay.
No, I've had enough of rugby
Just let
league.
me know if you do.
I've had enough of rugby league on the road, to be honest. I think Vegas did me.
Yeah.
Next one, yours, please.
Okay, boys, pub scenario time. This one's called 100 of the best. Within 24 hours, you've got to complete 4 tasks totaling to 100 times completed. The tasks are drink beers, eat pies, 1 kilometre runs, or have a wank. Question is, how are you going to break that up? Are you going to go 25 beers, 25 pies, 25 runs, and 25 wanks? I don't think so. I think you got to go light on the wanks, heavy on the beers. Let me know, boys. Is it possible? How would you do it?
Right, okay. I like this.
Light on the wanks, heavy on the beers is definitely the approach.
I think you could get through 50 Ks. This is a 24-hour period.
Yeah.
You could go for a run, real slow run, and run 50.
50K?
Like, over 24 hours. Because then you've knocked half of them off, half the target off, and then you can have some fun.
And then you're on the piss.
Yeah.
Well, how long would it take you to run 50Ks?
Well,
probably like 8 hours.
Yeah. And you don't run, walk.
Yeah.
This is kilometres.
Even just walk. So I'm walking from Waimea to Timaru. How long would that take? Yeah, I could probably do that. What are you averaging? What's the average walking speed? It's like 4Ks, 4 Ks an hour. Oh, no, I don't. Yeah, so 10
slow
hours.
Jog. Slow jog. You can run a marathon and a slow jog in 5 or 6 hours. That's 40 Ks.
So we ran the math on a stag do a couple of weeks ago as to how many beers we thought we drunk.
Yeah.
It was a Friday night, Saturday full day. I reckon I did 50.
But I think though,
15 of them on
what
Friday.
happens if you prioritise the beers, the other stuff becomes harder.
Certainly.
I think you should finish with the beers because then you've got a target. So say you run 40 Ks, eat 20 pies, you're up to 60. Maybe jack off 10 times, you're up to 70.
10? I don't think I could do 10 in a day.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. So it's like...
I reckon 5.
24 hours?
Also, 24 hours. Yeah, but again, this
the beers
is the
get
issue.
in the way.
The beers get in the way. Over a certain amount of beers, you're taking wanks off the table, let's be honest. Also, running. I think running's taking a couple of... I think if I went pie wank for about 10...
So that gets you to 20. So you've got...
Now I'm at 20. Fuck, I've got to drink 50 beers and run a half marathon?
Yes.
I can't do it. I can't do it. I don't think I can do it.
So what about...
I don't...
I think you've got to knock the kilometres are the only way to do it. I reckon if you ran for 15 hours as far as you could, or walked for 15 hours, maybe you might get to 50 or 60 Ks.
While drinking and eating.
You can have the odd beer. Maybe you drink 10 beers through that and maybe 5 pies. So that gets you up to 85.
How many Ks do they cover in the... Remember
75 maybe.
The relay for life? The cancer thing, and then you just walk around...
At midnight, you're at 3 a.m. walking around freezing your ass off.
Yeah. So you're basically doing that with beers, pies, and jacking it. But I honestly think I'm just going to, if I have to do one wank, I'll do it just to get one on the board. But I'm not going to waste too much time trying to get too many of those.
And also in the 24-hour period, the danger that the wank will put you to sleep.
Oh, after 40 beers and 20 Ks running.
Yeah, that's the danger. It's like the natural lorazepam. It's like...
It's a recipe for sleep, isn't it?
Okay, that's a good scenario. Thanks for that.
Ks, you're just going to have to...
The Ks.
It's going to come down to how many Ks can you get through.
Yeah. I reckon you set a time period and you do as many as you can in 15 hours, and then you've got another 9 hours to complete the rest.
Which is just beers, basically.
Yeah. Beers and pies.
Yeah.
Beers, pies, and maybe a courtesy.
Courtesy wank. Yeah, okay.
That's a great scenario. Thanks for that.
Great scenario.
Last one, yours, please.
With them banning greyhounds from racing, when they open it up to all breeds, is it just going to be one race? Because I've got a heading dog cross with a spaniel that's pretty quick. I just don't know whether he's going to be in the big breeds or the smaller dog breeds. Because, I'm looking to make a bit of money off him.
Okay.
I love the analysis. He's pretty quick.
That's good.
Also, how did you let your heading dog get out and impregnate a spaniel?
Yeah, that's a strange breed.
Yeah.
Look, that's a great question. Obviously, the greyhounds have been banned. But look, I mean,
what are they opening it up to any old brand, any breed of dog now?
Well, they said it was doggist, so because only greyhounds could race.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they banned greyhounds.
Right.
Is because there were spaniels out there going, this is what's wrong with the spaniel breed?
That's right. Yeah, we should be paid as much as the
doggist.
greyhounds.
Yeah, it's doggist, and then you got you've got the Weimaranas.
Yeah,
they're like, why can't I chase the rabbit?
So is it going to be an open weight grade?
Yeah,
basically where it's like coming up in lane 3, we've got Baxter. She's a
labradoodle.
She's a Shih Tzu bitch, and
well, they have the Jack Russell race down in Wanaka every year. Have you seen that? That's an absolute abomination because the Jack Russell's just running everywhere.
That's pretty cute. I would probably run like a fucking hectic pit bull or something, and it just mauls out the dogs out the gate.
Yeah, it's problematic, isn't it? I mean, look, they've opened up a can of worms, banning the greyhounds, and now they've just opened it up to all breeds.
What if I released like an Alaskan wolf into the... I'm like, technically it's a dog. Don't you say it's not.
I think...
It identifies as a dog.
I think you need different... Once again, though, we have to then say, like, attack dogs or, like, predator dogs.
Like a German Shepherd.
Versus lap dogs. Like, you got your Shih Tzus and your little...
Your Bichon Frise.
Bichon Frises and stuff. And then you have your mid-sized dogs, which are your kind of... Your cavoodles.
Spaniels.
Your cavoodles.
Oh, yeah, a cavoodle, a retrodoodle.
Yeah, that kind of...
retriever.
And then you got your large dogs, like your full-grown poodles, your Great Danes.
An Alsatian.
Your Alsatians. Your Dobermans would be in the attack dog.
Irish Wolfhound.
With the Rottweiler.
Yeah.
And the Rhodesian Ridgeback. Hell of a race day. Imagine the kennels out the back of a all-breed dog racing.
I've always wondered, like, why did we stop at dogs and horses?
Yeah.
Is there an animal that you could ride as a human being that'd be faster than a horse? Because you couldn't ride any of the big cats.
I was about to say the cats.
I think a bear over a short distance could probably do it.
Hard to ride a bear, though. Imagine trying to saddle up a black bear.
It'd be tough. Yeah, it'd definitely be tough. But then the only other thing I could think would be if you found a jockey small enough to ride some sort of gazelle.
Oh, yeah, like a
springbok or something.
Some sort of deer.
Yeah, I'm sure a caribou would be quite quick once it got up to top speed, but it'd be slow getting there.
Yeah, well, I mean, looking at a cheetah is obviously one of the fastest.
Yeah.
So getting on the back of a cheetah.
Yeah, but again, you're not.
Cheetahs
are very small.
They're quite slight, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. Even a tiger's quite big, but I don't think.
Camels can go. Not as fast as a horse, though, eh?
Not as fast as a horse, nah.
It's a good question. But yeah. And how come greyhounds? How come they haven't got jockeys?
Why don't greyhounds have jockeys? It's a great point.
Yeah. Well, because that opens up just free racing for anything. Why don't we race cheetahs?
Why don't we?
That'd be mean.
I mean, I know at Arana Park they didn't race them, but their enclosure had this rope, which you could basically put a bunny on, and then it had like a winch at one end.
Yeah.
That just went hell for leather, and that would get them up to full tilt.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah. It was basically a greyhound setup in there.
Did you gamble on it?
I mean, you can gamble on anything if you find someone willing to take your money.
Okay, we'll knock it on the head here. Thanks for yours, pleases. Keep them coming through. Good to mix them up, mix up the gene pool. If you haven't sent us one, just press on the microphone button. Send us one through. Would love to hear from you, but we'll knock this on the head. We're back tomorrow with a Super Rugby special with James McConey. Thanks, Manaia. Catch you later.
You've been listening to the ACC's Agenda podcast, brought to you by Export Ultra. For more episodes, like and follow on iHeartradio or wherever you get your podcasts.